Good morning, Sarah.
Good morning. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, everyone. This is Sara Lovecraft. I'm Sam with Sam's Bead Shop, and we're so excited to be and slash bead with you on this lovely
Yes.
Taco Tuesday morning.
All
What's
right,
what's what you got?
What? I'm trying to pull us up because I can't see the comments when we are in this format. So I'm trying to find what's the best way. There we go.
I don't know.
Hold on.
YouTube. We have lots of friends watching with us already. Hello, Elaine and Kim and Evelyn. We got lots of folks here. So wave hello if you're here. It's gonna be a lovely morning of bead friend hang time.
Okay, cool. So I'll pull it up I've got it pulled up on YouTube. So everybody on Facebook, just in case you're curious, I can't see your comments, but if there's something.
But I can.
But Sam can. So just so you guys.
It doesn't mean I don't rely on that, but I can.
He can. Doesn't mean he's going to read them all. It just means he can see them. I cannot.
Depends how busy we get.
Oh my gosh. So how are you, Sam?
I'm great. I feel like it's been a million years, and
I agree.
I'm so glad we get to do this today. I think
me too.
I went to New York since the last time I saw you.
You did. You went and hung out with Rachel, and y'all did all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah.
This was my first New York trip where I didn't do any bead shopping in a while. Like every other New York trip, like the last one I think I did 3 days at 3 different vendors.
Yeah.
And I did none this time.
Wow.
I was so much less tired by the end. Like, because it's another thing. It's like where you like really, really, really love it, and like it's something I could just like dig in these warehouses like all day long. But it's also just physically exhausting.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
At one of these places, it's like they literally have they're pallets of boxes, and they literally just say "have at it." So I'm like, they're cutting open the pallets wrapped in plastic, opening each box, going through each box within those boxes. It's a whole thing. Meanwhile, this warehouse like doesn't have light. There's water dripping from the ceiling. It's like a whole thing. Like there was like water dripping on my head. I felt like it was awful. But it was also great because you're like, it doesn't matter. I'm getting beads.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so we got to schedule the next time you go bead shopping in New York to go and do all that stuff. You're going to have to let me know in advance because I can take an express jet to New York. It only takes me like, I think 2.5 to 3 hours if there's not a layover. So
it's so fun.
Yeah. So
we should go to one of the Czech warehouses. You would love it.
It would be so much fun. We could do some
your
great
kits would be enormous.
Will be so fun. Yeah.
You just have these 20 strand necklaces all of a sudden.
Yes.
Let's see. Gail says I'm not seeing on YouTube. It's just a blank page. Ooh, interesting. Let me double check that because we thought we had YouTube and then we thought we had a second YouTube. We deleted one. Let me just do a quick check here. And then we'll jump into the beading today. Let's check Sarah's channel.
So I see it on YouTube.
You might just need to go back to Sarah's channel. Yeah, I'm guessing maybe a second stream got created. 5 and 9.
Colleen says, or we could drive. We don't have to do an express jet. We could drive. Except that what she doesn't understand is it takes like 14 hours to drive to New York. Okay, Colleen, you drive and I'll sleep.
Okay, there is a second stream. Let me commenting on it. I don't know if there's a way to delete it. Hey y'all, we are on a separate stream. Yeah, I don't have a way to adding that back. I guess you could try to add it back, but I don't. You could try. I don't know.
Let's see. Hold on.
There's like there's only a few people waiting on that stream. Okay. So maybe it's not the biggest deal. But I'm glad you pointed that out.
Hold on. Did that fix it?
Let me check. Oh, you added it back. Let me refresh it.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, we did what we could, so let's jump in. If it works.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, and it'll be there regardless. It'll be there on replay. So, and I'm seeing it. Like I'm seeing it live. I think it's just a matter.
There's 2 of them.
Yeah.
we're trying things today, so that was helpful. Thank you, everyone, for that information. There is a YouTube stream, we promise.
Do you? Okay. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. Hold on.
Oh, Gail says you fixed it.
Okay.
Great.
Whoa.
All right, Sarah.
That works.
Well, we got a project today.
We do have a project. I got to show you a picture first, though, right before we get started, because we usually talk about like how your day has been going. I want to show you how my day started. Okay.
Please.
Always. I don't know if you can see this or not, but
who dat?
Can you see that?
Yeah. Who dat? That's
Vega. That's the baby, covered in mud. That's how my day started. Yeah.
That's not a baby anymore.
No. Well, yeah, I know. She's just a big baby now, but yeah, covered in mud. Yeah. So I was a little behind today because, you know, like having a toddler, I'm telling you.
I was taking care of my neighbors, like was fostering a puppy for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Demon puppy. I spent an hour with it. I was like, this is too much. It gets into everything. It has no sense of trying to be potty trained or anything. It was awful. I was like, I stood outside with that dog for 10 minutes. Nothing. We come in. Yep.
Immediately. Oh yeah. Immediately. Becca used to do that too. Yeah, I went through all of that with her. She was quite a demon too, and still has some demon tendencies clearly, because she decided that, you know, it was a good day to go out and get covered in mud and then try to bring it all inside, because you know, she had to share that with everybody. So yeah.
Treen says, how many dogs does Sarah have?
4.
4 dogs. I can't name all of them. You got Albert. Shoot. Albert, Vega. Oh no. I've heard you say all their names. Who are the other 2?
Cooper and
Albert,
Zena.
Vega. Yeah. Okay. That's so cute. 4 dogs and cats.
Yeah. Yeah. They're much easier. Much easier than the dogs. Well, the cats are pretty self-sufficient, so it all works out. But yeah, no, the dogs are like they rule our lives. But yeah.
Can I show you something?
Yes, please.
I gotta grab it. I do this without giving away secrets. We're almost ready to drop off. Oh wait, can't see the title. Well, this is me tipping it up so you can't see anything. We're almost ready to drop off the May Sam Speed box. Sarah might have early access already.
I already have mine.
So we're very excited. We're gonna put the
super exciting
shipping labels on the last batch tonight, and then tomorrow's the 10th, our ship day. So they're going on another on-time departure tomorrow.
It's so
much color and. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm very excited folks get it. You actually can still subscribe. Today is you have 10 hours left. If you want to get subscribed, go to samspeedbox.com right now and get signed up. You can use Sarah's name, SARA, for $5 off. I think you guys are really gonna like the May box. I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, it's a good
we
one.
do ship to Denmark. We ship to most countries. I don't know if we've ever shipped to Denmark. All right, that's my main update. I'm ready for beads. What we doing?
What are we doing? We're putting together a bracelet. I'm going to go ahead and turn around, and I'm going to let you tell us all about these beautiful
Absolutely.
beads. So, my messy workstation here. Hold on. There we go. I need to wash this bead mat in a serious way.
I put one in the washer.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the washer or the dryer that did it. I know this was in Tucson. I put my bead mat in it. It covered all my clothes in fuzz, and then it did not exist anymore. There was no bead mat to be had.
Oh my god!
So they're only they're $2. So we might just have to get us some more, because I also need a bead mat.
Yes. Just replace it. No washing, just replacing. Wow. Well, that's good to know.
Well, you can still keep it. It could be an off-camera bead mat.
It's an invisible bead mat. All right. So
Rachel sent out a palette for today to Sarah, and she picked out some fun check glass from the shop. So we got one focal. We've got a mandala flower, which is one of my favorite shapes that we have. So they're at the top. Rachel sent out a really pretty color. I made a collection for today's stream. You can find it linked below. And I just put all the colors of mandala flowers we have.
Yeah.
Do you, by chance, still have the bag of that one that might have the color name?
The color name.
Otherwise, I'm sure I could little quiz.
No, all I got was my little note from Rachel. It didn't have a. I do have the one for the check glass, but not for these two.
Okay. Well, it's one of the. Okay.
Wait. Hang on. I just found. This might be it.
I'm gonna guess black, blue, fuchsia, orange, vitriol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
blue. Yeah. Okay. Bead 7434. Yeah. Okay. That's the cool. All right. That is on the website, y'all. That one is in stock. And then along with it, we sent Sarah some 2-hole beads, which we don't typically do. We've sent her some rhombuses.
Yeah.
In a nice like blue iris, which
they're so pretty.
Let's see. And then the last one, the rhombus color is called Jet Black Blue Vitriol. And then we wanted to give Sarah a class, so we sent her the leaf button, which is actually a vintage button that's not made anymore. Also in that beautiful vitriol. So just a few little fun goodies to play with in the shop. There's so many items. We have so many beads in the shop these days, like more than we ever have. So like, it's fun to just send Sarah out a few things and just see what she comes up with. So she can go with the bracelet with these goodies, right?
Yeah, and some of these beautiful tohos in this blue color as well. So we're gonna use that one.
Yeah, so if you want any of these items, I have them linked in a collection. So just go to that. Go to the page it has for today's stream. That's linked below, and you'll see all the goodies that Sarah's using and like the other colors of these shapes. So trying to make it as easy as possible.
So I wanted to just kind of say a little something to all of our bead friends out there, because I don't know that a lot of people, well, I mean, I guess that a lot of people, I don't know, I can't speak for other people, but let me tell you, the point I'm trying to get to here is that even if you're not a seed beater, a 2-hole bead is a fun thing to play with. So don't shy away from these, because when Rachel sent me these, I was like, well, wait a minute, I don't do a whole lot of seed beating. But I do stringing, and stringing is 100% an option for a 2-hole bead. You don't have to be a seed beater to appreciate a different kind of bead. So I just kind of wanted to say that, because I feel like sometimes maybe the 2-hole beads get overlooked, or the interesting shapes with more than one hole get overlooked because people are like, well, but I don't seed bead. But listen, you can use them anyway, and I'm going to show you that. So we're going to put together a cute little bracelet, and we're going to start out with our flower bead here to do our focal, but then we're going to string these up on either side of our bracelet, and I'll show you how you can do that with some bead stringing wire. So first things first, though, let's create our focal. So we're going to put together a focal here, and we're going to do a little bit of herringbone with some seed beads to build a focal. Now, we're not going to get crazy with it. We're not going to do anything super huge, but I thought that it would be cool.
But it's so pretty. Did you guys see the thumbnail? The herringbone is so
it really is pretty.
It's actually one of my favorite Sarah techniques. I did it over the weekend. I was part of Shara's leading a challenge in Gem Chat, and the challenge was keep it simple, and I started doing Sarah's herringbone, which actually is not a super complicated technique, but like does not read as quick and simple, but it's fun. It's super fun.
It is fun. And I think it's a lot more easy. I think it's easier to do when you add beads to it. So if anybody struggles with herringbone, I seriously encourage you to try it with some.
Oh, we have Sarah's frozen for a moment, but she's always back in like 5 seconds, so don't fret. On the very first stream with Sarah,
I'm back.
Hi, welcome back. On the very first stream with Sarah, it completely left, and I was terrified because I had not done that many lives at the time, and I was like, hello, everyone. I guess this is my stream now. As much as I don't want it to be.
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get started here. So I cut about 12 inches of 24 gauge wire. You can cut, or you can use 22 gauge if you want to. I feel like the biggest issue with the wire gauge is just going to be what your seed beads are going to fit onto. So these seed beads, because they're Tohos, they will fit onto 22 gauge wire. So you can do either or. But if you're using something like from your own stash, you definitely want to check to make sure your wire is going to fit through your seed beads before you commit to how much wire you're going to cut. So excuse me, y'all. I'm going to come down on the wire a little bit more than I would if I were doing just a regular wrapped loop, because I'm going to have to do about 9 wraps. So you want to be sure you give yourself plenty of wire to work with. So I'm going to come down on the wire at least a full 2 inches, if not 2.5 inches. And I'm going to give the wire a bend. Okay. And then I'm going to come in with my round nose pliers. So we're doing just a wrapped loop here. But the difference is, like I said, we're going to do this wrapped loop with several wraps. So I'm going to take the wire up and over the top barrel of the pliers, and then I'm going to rotate and take the wire over to the other side. Now, when I do my wraps, I need to do about 9. So there's our first one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. 8.
I really thought it was a counting issue. I was like...
Now listen, they don't have to be perfect wraps either. That was more like 10. They don't have to be a perfect wrap, because you're actually going to cover these up. You're never even going to see them. So you can really kind of, give yourself a break. Don't worry if your wraps are not perfect. It's totally fine. Okay. So I'm going to come in with my cutter and trim off. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty.
I wanted to give folks like where Sarah's heading, because I learned this technique from Sarah probably last year. And this one I will pretend like it's even and everything, whatever. I was just freeforming, but it's such a fun technique, and it's such a nice way to be able to add accents to especially coin beads.
Yeah.
And you can do a small, this one's only like a maybe 10 or 12 millimeter coin I used here. I kind of ended up wrapping it more on the front side by chance, which was nice because now the coin can't actually spin.
Yeah.
Because of that. Usually I'm wrapping on the sides and it doesn't affect it at all. But this one came out that way and it actually was fun. This one's garnet and Amazonite. It was going to be like a link. I was thinking in like a bracelet was my idea for it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that. That's awesome.
That's as far as that project got over the weekend.
All right. Well, I mean,
And my mom said, "Do you want to watch the Warriors game?" I said, "I mean, not really my thing, but I'll watch it with you."
Yeah. Aw. Well, that was more important. That was way more important than beating.
It was fun. They did not win.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. So we want to do the same thing over here on the other side, but in order to do that, we have to place our pliers out a little ways. Now, listen, you can actually measure with an actual ruler. I have a tendency to just kind of eyeball it. So sometimes it's off. Sometimes it's perfect. You never know. So if you want to use a ruler and get it exact, go for it. I just tend to eyeball it and see what happens. I usually get pretty close, and that's all I ask for. So then I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to do my wrapped loop, and then I'm going to just fill in. And I don't even count because I don't even want to know. I don't want to know if it's exact or not. Okay, now listen, there's a couple of things you can do here. So Sam was talking about how with his, he wrapped towards the front and it kept the coin from spinning. There's actually a couple of different things you can do here to keep your coin from spinning. You can do one pass of this just along the edge with just the wire without the beads. And sometimes if you get that tight enough, it'll keep your coin bead from spinning. Or you can go straight to the back. Okay. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my wire to the back and I'm going to run it across the back of that bead, back up here to the wire wraps. And I'm going to wrap to the front of those wire wraps and back out. That is 100% going to keep that bead from wiggling around because that wire is keeping it straight. And because this is going to be a bracelet and this part's going to be up against your skin, you're not going to see that. Now, sometimes like if it's a pendant or something or earrings, and I know that there's going to be some movement, it's going to move around, I may not want to do that because I don't necessarily want that to be shown, right? But because it is a bracelet, I don't have to worry about it. Now, the only thing you do have to worry about though, is being sure that just like with regular herringbone, you are coming out the front because you're always working in the front. And when I say in the front, I mean to the front of the wire wraps. So when you bring this across the back, just be sure that you come to the front of those wire wraps so that we're already in place to do our herringbone. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take this wire and we're going to load it up with some of these seed beads. And I don't know how many beads it's going to take. I don't have to count them. I'm just going to fill my wire up. And I'm basically just kind of treating my wire like a needle by picking them up and then just kind of moving them down. So basically what I want is enough beads to go around the edge of my coin bead here. And if I pick up too many, that's okay, because I can kind of just slide them out of the way. And I'll show you here in just a second what I mean, because I almost always pick up.
You're so smart with seed beads. Sorry. I was admiring how easy it was for you to pick those up, because I did that one I show with the tiny little garnets, and it was also half dark. I couldn't find a dang hole. It took me like a minute per bead. There's an ease to seed beads.
Yeah, there really kind of is. All right, so dropping my beads down, okay, and I want to be sure that my beads come all the way to the edge here and then all the way up to the wire wraps. Now I have too many, which is fine. Like I said, I can just very easily slide those out of the way, right, and hold them out of here. I don't have to take them all the way off the wire because I'm going to use them for the other side of this here in just a second. So I'm just going to kind of slide those out of the way. But what I want is for my beads to form a nice little frame around the outside edge of our coin bead. And as with normal regular herringbone without beads, same steps and same rules apply. We're going to the front of the wire wraps. So make sure that your wire with your seed beads is to the front of those wire wraps, and you're going to wrap around the wire wraps that already exist and then back out the front. And then you can drop those extra beads back down and they're ready for the other side. Now, obviously we're going to have to add some more, but I've already got some that were just my extras. All right. So then I'm going to straighten out my wire and I'm going to pick up some more beads. Now, just because it takes a certain amount of beads to go on one side does not mean that it takes the same amount of beads on the other side. So don't just assume that if it takes 20 beads here, it's going to take 20 beads here. It's probably not going to be exact every single time. So that's why I don't count at all. I don't even bother. Aww, I love hearing stuff like that. I really do. Oh, I love that. Kim says Sarah's the best therapist. I don't know about all that, but I do know that beading is good for you. That's for sure. All right. So now, same thing. I've got enough beads to go around. I might have a couple extra or too many, right? You're just going to kind of adjust as you need to. Looks like I may be able to get rid of just one. But again, coming to the front of those wire wraps with my wire, and then I'm going to wrap around and then back out the front. There's my extra bead, and I can just leave him on. All right, now we're going to do another row. We're going to do 2 rows of this. So you can do as many rows as you want to. However, you will run out of wire wrap. So if you want to do a really big piece and you want multiple rows of seed beads, you're going to have to do more than just 9 wire wraps here. because that's where your wire attaches. So obviously the bigger the rows or the more rows, the longer the wire wrap section you're going to need. So just keep all of that in mind as well. But we're going to go ahead and pick up some more seed beads. And this row is going to go to the outside edge of the row that we just created. Whereas when we're doing this without beads and we're doing it with just wire, it goes to the back of the previous row. But with beads, we want all of those beads to show we're building outwards instead of from the front to the back. So we're going to sit these to the edge, right? All right, so I'm going to pick up some more seed beads and I'll show you exactly what I mean in case anybody is a little confused by what I'm saying. So let me pick up.
I really think this is one technique I see pop up in the Facebook groups a lot.
Yeah.
Like in Sara Lovecraft Designs community and in Gem Chat. It's one that just like becomes so nice to be able to turn pretty much like, I mean, you could do this on a good amount of rounded shapes.
Oh yeah.
And kind of make them your own bead.
Yeah.
I know Jessica H does this technique a lot. And it's so nice. It just like, it really transformed. Like you take that mandala focal, which is beautiful, but then now you get to basically like add your own, think of it like add your own check finish to it.
Exactly. Yeah. And it doesn't take away from the bead is the thing. That's what I like about it is that it's not like it's so, it doesn't detract from the beautiful, pattern that's already on the bead. It just enhances it even more.
Yeah, I so agree. That blue is nice. I really like that. That's a nice cobalt.
I agree. You
Rachel
can't go
that out well.
Blue. Yeah, it's a beautiful blue. All right, so I have more beads again than I actually need, but again, we're going to the outside edge of the previous row. And then I'm going to kind of scoot these out of the way, come into the front of the wire wraps.
Sarah, that's not a phrase we say here.
What?
I have more beads than I'll ever need. No one relates to that statement.
Okay, you're right. That is not a real thing. We don't do that here. We don't have that problem. None of us have that problem.
We like our options. Thank you.
I love it. You're so right. You're so right. My bad. That's awesome. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh.
Aren't you glad I bombarded the stream today?
I love it. It's always fun when you're here. It's my favorite. Oh goodness. So what are you working on something? What do you got going on?
Yeah, I'm secretly working on something.
Okay, cool.
You want to see?
I do want to see. Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get to you're on the last wrap of that one, so I'm gonna let you. Like folks like to see things to the finish, so I'm gonna let you go for a second more before I flip my camera or show my camera again.
Okay. All right. So a few more that I need. Wrap to the front and around. And now I'm just going to wrap around a couple of times just to secure my wire. And then I'm going to trim off what's left. Because all I wanted was just 2 little rows. And look how pretty that is. So pretty.
That is stunning. It actually makes the focal. Wow. It makes the focal really present. Because I think it's nice because you made it a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Because check focals don't actually come in like generally in that big of sizes. So I love that you just made it like 2 sizes bigger. And now it's like more the size of a gemstone focal.
Yeah.
That's gorgeous.
So pretty. All right.
Oh, I love that.
Right.
Oh, that's so nice.
Do we get a little sneaky peeky before we move to the next thing?
So you got me inspired with this technique, and you reminded me of something I was experimenting with a few months ago. Let's see here. So I grabbed some of these goodies. This is some opals from Tonight Sale, which, by the way, shouting out that I texted Shira that I'm doing a bunch of amethysts on Tonight Sale. And she says, I'll be there. So she's going to be in-house with us tonight for the amethysts.
Oh,
and look at these amethysts.
Oh my gosh, that color.
Look how big they are. Look how big they are.
Those are incredible. Wow.
So they're crazily priced. These are gonna go very quickly. And Shara will be in-house if you want to hang with me and Shara tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific. We would love to be with you. But for now,
beautiful.
aren't those amazing?
Oh my goodness.
So I remember a few months ago, I had tinkered with doing your herringbone on a brio.
Yeah.
And there's it's the same technique, but you just have to make some micro adjustments. So it looks like I need like one more bead here. The key is that you need to do, I found, is you need to do the beads first.
Yeah.
Like typically, you know, your gut would be to like, you want to wrap your brio. Like I would want to bring my wraps down.
Yeah.
The issue is then then you can't, it's hard to secure the beads. So
right.
if you do the beads first, then come back and do your wraps. It holds all this in place.
Oh my gosh.
So all I did is I start with a standard brio wrap. You do your 2 wraps. So if I have time, I can show it from the start. I do my basic brio wrap.
Mm-hmm.
And then instead of starting to go around, I just bring it around once so that I can start the herringbone. I'm only going to do 1 layer here.
Yeah.
So this one is a 11.0 Toho gold line crystal. And basically what I like to do is I fill it just enough so that it comes up to each hole.
Yeah.
Because I'm imagining that I'm going to basically fill the remaining space with wire wrap. So this is where the trickiest part is. And I haven't done this for many months, so I think I remember this enough.
Oh my gosh. I wish I had a brio in my hand so I could do that too. That's awesome.
So I try to remember how yeah. So if I come around, and this part can be a little messy because it's all going to get covered up. Oops, a little too tight. So basically, just start by securing that. Come on, wire. You're on camera.
I'm going to need you to behave now.
All right, it's a little tight, but we're going to keep going because the technique's all the same.
Yeah.
So from there is where you can start your wraps. And once you get it going, everything will become a little bit more secure.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to finagle your beads to stay in line with each other going this way.
Right.
So that they make sense in the end. So once I start wrapping, this should... Come on, it's fighting me today, but we're just going to keep going.
So can I just say I love the turtle focal that you have on your desk. It's so cool.
Isn't it cute? I've had that for like probably 8 years.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I just wanted to make a little bracelet out of it. So it's just sitting there to hopefully one day become a bracelet.
It's pretty awesome.
I think it's a handmade component. I like it. I got that ages ago.
Yeah, it looks like it's ceramic.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it says a handmade. Oh, it actually has if anyone knows this artist.
Oh, wow.
SCM.
That's awesome. Very cool.
So you see, as I came down with the wire, everything just kind of starting to tighten up a bit.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because this is literally a translation of what Sara just showed. The only reason I was able to do this is because I learned that technique from Sara last year. And then also, by the way, my new favorite like flat
yeah
of my Xeron crimpers. I'm obsessed because I can tuck in all the tiny little tails.
Yeah.
And like, isn't that so cute?
Yes.
Look how cute.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
It almost looks like I'm a pro seed beater who can bezel.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. That's too cool.
And I was thinking, this is, by the way, TRCast just announced their collection this morning. These are some little samples from it. They're doing some of their favorite components cast in pewter for the new collection.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like an earring like this, I might even just put onto one of these posts. Because they have these hypoallergenic posts, and like they have this in the silver tone too, but this is the pewter. I thought that would be really pretty, just as like a nice simple earring. They also have a version, the Lotus version, which actually I think I like that more. I'll do that one.
Oh yeah. I like that one the best. That's awesome.
They only send us one of each as a sample, so I can only make one earring for now.
Well, but you could. Oh yeah, because it's. I was about to say you can make it a pendant, but you can't because it's got a back.
Oh, You're right. I guess I could like do something else with it, but you know what? You already have the idea. And you're like, I can't change. It's too late for that. All right, enough of me. Let's go switch back to Sara.
All right, so I was getting this ready, and I'll kind of walk you through it. You'll be able to see me do it on the other side as well. But basically what I did is I took a wire guardian. You don't have to use a wire guardian if you don't want to, but if you do use a wire guardian, you're going to cut your piece of bead stringing wire, and instead of threading your wire guardian onto the end, you're actually going to thread it to the middle so that you've got a double strand here. Okay, for your bead stringing wire. And then I went ahead and crimped it just to keep everything secure. Now, if you're not going to do that, you're just going to take your bead stringing wire, you're going to loop it through one of the loops, one of your wire loops on your focal here, and then you're going to crimp. But what you want is you want 2 strands of bead stringing wire. So you're folding your bead stringing wire in half, right? And then I thread on 2 seed beads on either strand, and then I thread on this 2-hole bead onto both strands. And that's what we're going to do for the length part of our bracelet here. So I'm going to do one on one side and one on the other side. So your bracelet is kind of broken down into 2 sections. But then in between each one of the 2-hole beads, we're just going to add 2 seed beads. So to each strand, I'm going to put 2 seed beads. Drop those down, and then you're going to thread on your 2-hole bead. And pull that down. And then you're going to do another 2 seed beads. And then another 2. Okay, drop those down. Bring in your 2-hole bead. Now, if you're curious, I actually did this. The first time I did this, I didn't even do it with bead stringing wire. I did it with more of the 24 gauge German style wire. And you actually can do that. So you don't even have to use, bead stringing wire for this. If you want to do this out of, a thick wire, you absolutely can. So you would just wire wrap your ends.
That's interesting. So with it, which gauge were you trying it with?
So with 24, you can do it with a 24. I think you could probably do it with the 22 too. But you can do this with a 24 gauge wire for sure.
We should shout out with these 2-hole rhombuses. These are a Lena Gillespie bead that Danielle introduced me to. I think, and many of us too. She's done a bunch of projects. If you are looking for like bead weaving projects, she has a few using these beads. We have them in a bunch of colors in the shop, and I think we've done like 3 different projects using the rhombus beads.
Yeah,
this is the first one we've done that isn't bead weaving. It's a variation on bead weaving essentially,
right?
But I think a little bit more accessible because we're going to be using bead stringing wire and crimping here.
Right. Yeah.
A little bit different process. But I feel like the ideas come from the same like vein of technique.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
And y'all, okay. I don't know if y'all know, Sara does know bead weaving. We just don't see it that often.
I just don't teach it because I feel like there are such better teachers out there. But I do it, and I find that it is so relaxing. It really is one of my favorite techniques. I just don't teach it because I'm so much more comfortable teaching wire. So I leave it to people like Danielle to teach it and make it accessible to everybody.
Blossom wants to know which bead stringing wire you're recommending for this. Looks like Sarah's frozen for a moment, but she'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was close. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay, so I got to the end here. Let's see. Blossom says, I missed, what size bead string are you using? So I'm using some 19 strand 0.46 millimeter in bronze.
That's
But
like one of my favorite bead along colors.
the bronze color, I love it too.
Oh, so nice.
It looks really good with gold. Like they have gold colored bead string wire, but I always use the bronze. I just feel like it's such a beautiful color.
I have some here.
Yeah, that's so pretty.
What do you recommend to folks? Because like this one, I think I got in like a past competition kit that the Beadalon did. This is the 49 strand 0.24. Yours is 0.18. So yours is thinner.
Right. Is it
and thinner? What do you find the main?
Yeah, it is. My bad.
No, it took me a second too. So like, but do you find a big difference between the 19 and 49 strand? Because that's, for folks that don't know, that's the number of steel cables that are being encased in that stringy wire. And 19 to 49 tend to be the go-tos. So what do you recommend?
So it really, I love that you asked this question, because I love to really give an honest answer about this, because I feel like some people have really kind of misunderstood the strands for bead stringing wire. So like Sam said, the bead stringing wire, it's all about the number of these strands. So the Beadalon bead stringing wire comes in 3 different options. You can get the 7 strand, the 19 strand, and the 49 strand. And I feel like a lot of times when people very first start out beading, they buy the 7 strand because it's the cheapest, right? I don't like to use that word, but it really is. It's the cheapest out of the 3. The 19 strand is in the middle, and the 49 strand is the most expensive. So a lot of people will just grab that 7 strand and be like, well, this is the cheapest, until they learn, right? Until they get a little bit further into their experience. Well, here's the thing, okay? The 7 strand, the reason that it is the cheapest is because it takes less of the steel wires, not because it is any less, their quality is any less. It's not a representation of the quality at all, actually.
I don't know what's going on, but just give Sarah a second.
Okay.
Hi, Sarah.
So like I was saying, the price point is not a representation of the quality of the bead stringing wire. And I think people get a little confused by that. They're like, well, I only use the 49 strand. Well, here's the thing. I recommend the bead stringing wire that is project specific. It has nothing to do with the price. It has nothing to do with anything like that. It is 100% about the project and what your project calls for. So there are some projects that call for the 7 strand. There are other projects that are going to call for the 19 strand. And there are other projects where you're going to want to use the 49 strand. But it's not a representation of the quality. It's not a representation of your skill level or any of those things, which I think people misunderstand. So the 7 strand is the one that is it's the most sturdy. It has less drape. It has more structure. So when you are building something with bead stringing wire, which people do, right? When you're building something, say you're building a focal and you need the structure, the 7 strand is going to be the one to go to. When you need more drape, but you still need a little bit of structure, you're going to go with the 19 strand. But when you need the most fluid and the one with the biggest drape, you're going to go with the 49 strand, because it's the softest. It's the one that is really kind of the most supple and has the less structure. So it's not about one being better than the other. It's really about what your specific project needs are. And I feel like that's something that people get a little confused about.
That is actually super helpful. I appreciate all that information.
Yeah, I just wish I hadn't frozen in the middle of it. But 100%, that's what it's about. It's not, it's not about, oh, well, 7 strand is just for beginners. That's not true. The 7 strand is not a beginner-friendly wire. Actually, it's a pretty advanced wire to be working with because of the amount of structure that it has. You have to know what you're doing to use 7 strand wire to build things with. So I just kind of want everybody to understand that, like, it's a little bit different than I think what people think.
I found it can have some memory to it.
Yes.
So like if I try to like, I remember I tried to do some bead weaving with like a soft touch, very fine,
Yeah.
very low number of strands. This also has to do with it that it was very fine, but I tried to change around the piece a bit, like kind of move my piece over, and I could tell that it remembered where it was before and kind of kept that shape. Oh, we gotta shout out what Sarah's. She's using her mighty crimper for that crimp cover.
Yep. Which
That's
is
always your go-to.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so I want to put my button on this end. So I'm going to take my bead string. Actually, I'm going to take another crimp, thread my crimp on. I'm going to thread on another wire guardian here.
Sorry for all the sounds I'm getting beads.
No, I love it.
I feel like I'm ringing bells over here.
It's creative ASMR, you know? All right, I'm going to slide my button on, and then I'm going to take my bead stringing wire back down through my crimp. And I'm going to pull all of this down. Make sure your wires are not crisscrossing inside there. And then we're going to crimp. You can add another bead cover to this if you want to, or you can just leave it. Since it's kind of going to be too behind your button, you're not really going to see it. So I'm not going to add another crimp cover to this one. Just going to trim off. All right, so one side of my bracelet is ready, right? I did all of this stringing, and I've got my button on one end for my clasp. Now I got to do the other side. So doing the other side, we're going to start out exactly the same way. So I went ahead and got my bead stringing wire. I'm going to thread on my wire guardian. And then again, I want to bring this to the middle of my piece of bead stringing wire instead of the end, so that my bead stringing wire is basically folded in half, right? That wire guardian is marking the halfway point. I'm going to thread this onto my focal here. And then I'm going to bring a crimp in. So I'm going to thread the crimp onto both strands. Okay. And then same steps apply here. You want to be sure your wires are not crossing inside there. Okay. And then we're going to crimp. All right, now we are ready to start adding our beads. Dump out a little more of the blue. Again, we're doing 2.
I'm laughing at Colleen's
Dear birthday fairy, I've been really good this year. Okay, kind of, sort of. That's too funny. I can vouch for Colleen. She's been kind of, sort of, okay, good. I don't know. You put the two of us together, and behaving is not something that we do very well.
I think Colleen has been rocking it.
She really has. She really has. She's made some incredible designs this year.
She told me she's starting it. She's doing a stream in one of your groups now.
Yes. So I don't know how much information I can give yet, because I don't know. She's still kind of working out all the details. But over on the Straighten Your Crown group that I put together years ago, I put together like right before COVID. So the timing of Straighten Your Crown was actually pretty perfect because
what's that group about?
So it's a non-beading group. However, there are lots of our bead friends that are there. And that's really kind of how it got started. Was I found that our bead family, there just needed to be a place where they could go and talk about things that were not being related. They could talk about life. They could talk about their struggles. They could talk about their accomplishments. It was just basically they needed another safe space where they could be together. And I don't know. I felt like at the time, there were groups where if you talked about things that were not bead related, people would get mad at you. Oh, this is a beading group. This is a jewelry. You need to keep that out of here. And it just felt like, okay, well, then I'm going to fix that. I'm going to give everybody a place where they can go. So we created Straighten Your Crown as a place where you could go and you could be safe. You could say what you needed to say. You could talk about things that were not jewelry related. And you would have a family there, maybe the bead family that you had already made in the beading community. And you could have somebody to listen to you, if you were struggling, you'd have some support. Or if you wanted to celebrate something, an accomplishment, you had a group that you could go to celebrate with. So that's how Straighten Your Crown came to be. And so basically it's kind of turned into a mental health group where obviously I'm not a doctor and neither is Colleen, and we're not therapists or anything like that, but it really just like was a place where it ended up being a really safe place for people to go and really support each other when they were going through things like COVID, and any other thing that they happen to be going through. And so it's grown from there. And Colleen is going to it's one of those groups where it got created and then it really kind of is just self-sustaining, the group takes care of itself. However, Colleen's going to take it and she's going to start doing some lives and things there. Some extra things there that are not bead related that, we talk about, well, we could play some games or we could do some other fun things. Maybe Snack Shenanigans will end up over there, So she's going to take the reins and really kind of turn our Straighten Your Crown group into something even more than what it already is, which is really exciting. So
that's awesome.
And we also thought it would be like a cool place to like interview each other. Like, you and I could sit down and talk, or, Colleen and you could sit down and talk and like talk about things like how you got to where you are. And it would still be bead related, but like there's not a project, you know what I mean?
Like more like life in general.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. More options. I don't know, just like bigger scope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or varied scope. Oh, I think it's a great idea. I don't know if I'm in that group. I will. How does one join that group?
So you just want to go. Usually, I think my team shares the link for it. But if you're just looking for it on Facebook in groups, it's called Straighten Your Crown. Or is that what it's called? Yeah, Straighten Your Crown. I was like, was it Straighten the Crown? No, it's Straighten Your Crown. And it's pretty easy to find. It's not a private group or anything. There's public access to it, so it should be pretty easy to find.
What a lovely idea. I can't believe the timing of when it started.
Yeah, it was, because I had started it before that because I was going through some really tough things. And then, then our world got turned upside down with the virus, and it really kind of just turned into a really safe place for everybody to go and talk about things and, and be with each other and not feel like they had to include jewelry making in the conversation,
Yeah. Some of my favorite posts in Gem Chat are the ones where like someone posts pictures of their goat.
Yeah.
Those will make me so happy.
Those are the best. All right, so I'm gonna make a loop for our button. So I'm down to one of my bead stringing cords, right? Because I cut off the other one and covered it up. Now I'm just gonna make a loop with my seed beads. Now I don't know how many seed beads that's gonna take, but
we're making the loop for the clasp now.
Yeah, so we've got to have a way to hook to our button. So just making a little loop here that'll go over the top of the button.
So what's the rule of thumb for size of a loop when you're making a toggle loop clasp?
So a lot of times it's really kind of specific to what your button is. You want to be sure that it's going to be big enough to get your button through, but not so big that it slips off. Because there's nothing worse than trying to wear a bracelet that constantly falls off of you. So you do kind of have to find the sweet spot.
So you usually kind of make your loop and then just try it and just do it more on feel.
Like I'll thread on a bunch of beads and then I kind of fold it over to see, and then I'll bring in my button and be like, is that gonna be enough? Do I need to add a little more? You know, and then I'll undo. So I don't commit until I'm pretty sure I've got what'll fit. But like I'll just fold it over and hold it with my fingers and then test to be sure. And that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna undo and then I'm ready to crimp. So I'm just gonna take my bead stringing wire, go back down through my crimp, pull all that down. It's gonna make our nice little loop. And then I'm gonna crimp. You got to be careful when you're crimping around seed beads though, because they like to sneak into the jaws of the crimper tool. So just be careful. And I'm going to trim off the excess, and then I'm going to add another crimp cover to this, and this will be done. And you don't have to add another crimp cover to it if you don't want to, but
someone was admiring how you were doing the crimp covers. I really think Sarah's trick is it's all about the size. It's the mighty crimper, which usually it's about the size of it. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So the mighty crimper tool, I very rarely use crimps that are big enough for this tool. I use it more than anything for closing the crimp covers, and it's just this front notch of the tool, the one that doesn't have the tooth. It is the perfect size for most crimp covers. They fit right in there, and then if you just give it a little bit of a squeeze, and I do a little bit at a time because sometimes those crimp covers can get a little crazy, but just very gently. See how I just gently squeeze that to close it up. For me, it's much easier than just using my pliers, because my pliers will slip around and sometimes that marks up the outside of the metal. And so I find that the mighty crimper tool's front notch really is the best way to keep from tearing it all up. You know, I don't have to worry that I'm going to slip where I do with my pliers. You know, I tend to be a little hard on things anyway. So, but I find that I use this for this way more than I actually use it for big crimps.
But it's nice that it has it's perfect use.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was meant to be. I don't know if they intentionally created it that way or if it was just a happy accident, but either way, I think it's a really nice way to cover your crimp covers, or to close your crimp covers rather.
If they ever redesign like the original crimp, I feel like it'd be so nice to have like a bigger notch just for the crimp.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, for sure. All right, and that's it. Our bracelet is basically done. So we've got our beautiful little focal here in the middle, and then we've got our 2 strands, and we've got our loop for our button for our clasp. And this is not one of those bracelets. Oh, I didn't crimp very well. Did you see that?
I looked down for a second. Now I see.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm supposed to be a pro at this, and I did not crimp very well. And my loop. Well, okay. So I'm going to have to restring that side, but what I was trying wanted to say before I just destroyed my bracelet was that this is the kind of bracelet, the structure, the way this is set up, it doesn't lay very well on your bead surface, but when you put it on, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. So it wears really nicely. It just doesn't lay on your bead mat. So you can see when you have it on, that's what it's supposed to look like, which I was about to show you, and instead made a big old huge mess. But
yeah, that was a first. I don't think I've ever seen that happen to you.
Yeah, it does happen to me on occasion, but I think that's the first time it's happened in a live. So that was embarrassing, but you know what? It happens to everybody, so it's all right.
You make me feel a lot better now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna turn y'all around.
I've been tinkering over here in the background.
I want to see. Show me what you're working on.
So I'm trying to get myself to use up some of my odds and ends from, oh geez, there's a lot on my desk. 1 second. I'm trying to get myself to use
goodness.
Odds and ends from the April box. So I started with this Dragon Blood Jasper focal.
Wow.
I stole it because it didn't make the quality cut, that corner, so it's mine now. And I love Dragon Blood Jasper.
Me too.
I took one of this is just a pinch bail from Tiercast. This happens to be the one that they're releasing in pewter this week. We'll have that soon at the shop. And then I literally just did like my easy, like free form stringing, slightly asymmetrical here. The only asymmetrical piece was the roses.
Yeah. Oh, it's so pretty.
But like I was just kind of thinking about color balance. I would like these pops of red to help to break up the darker tones because the paper box was darker.
Yeah.
But the red really was nice to be able to kind of warm it up, and a little crystal elements too. So I got a little bit more to do, but that should become a little Wonderland.
That is so
necklace.
Pretty. That's really beautiful.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I feel like we got lots of inspiration. So like folks got to see the bracelet technique, got to do some earring wrap.
Yeah.
There's some April box inspiration. I hope this inspires folks. I'm gonna flip my camera around.
I think so. I think we always give everybody some good ideas. At least I like to think that we do. And feedback that we do. Yeah. So I think it's always cool to watch other people create. So even if you are not in a creative slump, it's still really inspiring and exciting to watch somebody else make something, because you're like, ooh, I could do this or I could do that. So cool. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, let's quick updates. I haven't even shouted out the crazy coupon that I made for today's stream.
Yeah.
Like it's a pretty big coupon. I don't typically do coupons this good. But I was just very excited last night for today's stream.
Yeah.
So I made a coupon. So it's in the description of this video. Is a coupon for $10 off a Sands Beach Up order of only $60. So it's like a much higher discount than we typically give.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
There's no reason for it other than I was excited to see Sarah. So
so you're welcome, guys.
You can thank Sarah for you get $10 of free beads. You can use it on the website. There's the Sands Beach Up app. Highly recommend. And we have our live sale tonight. So you can literally use it wherever you like. It's good for the next few weeks. And it's good for once per customer. So definitely take advantage. Code Mandala for Sarah's Mandala bracelet. I don't think we've done like special coupon on. We've done so many streams together. I don't think we've ever done a special coupon. So
yeah, that's exciting. Thank you, Sam. That's pretty awesome.
Fun. I think we've showed a nice selection of some of the things we have in the shop. There's a pretty big variety. So I showed some of the gems and we've got the B-Box extras. Sarah showed some of our cool like buttons and check focals, seed beads. So like definitely, it's worth browsing our different selections.
Absolutely.
On the website, you can like shop by color is a new option we have. And I'm trying to make more
love, by the way. I love
Isn't it fun?
Yeah, I love that you can shop by color. That's one of my favorite ways to bead shop. So that's really cool.
Me too. It's really fun. And we're adding in more collections also just to like make things easier to find. So if you go to gemstones, there's a lot more collections there these days. You can go to pendants and different shapes. We're really trying to make the website just even as best we make it even better.
Yeah.
You can even find new pages with like supply lists for classes like this. If you go to the classes tab, and like it's because the website like updated how we could do it.
Mm-hmm.
So for like today's stream, I was able to put like a link to the stream, made a collection of all the items Sara used in the bracelet, like right on the same page. It's just so much easier. So definitely check that out. It's a lot of fun tinkering on the website these days.
What else? What do you got going on for the rest of the day?
Yeah, it's so funny you asked, Sara.
It's almost like I knew I should.
I didn't tell Sara to ask. We have our live sale tonight at 5:00 Pacific. That's 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Would love to come have you join. The easiest place to join is just on the Sam's Bead Shop app.
Yeah.
If you download it and turn on push notifications, you'll get a little ping when we start.
Yep.
And it's a lot of fun. You can get all the gorgeous amethyst that's coming today, and Shara will be there. So
wow.
And you have a $10 off coupon. So I don't know why you wouldn't be there today.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's a good day to get some beads. What's going on? What's going on in your world?
I've got Hardwired meets today at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and we're actually doing a throwback project today. We're doing a project that I have done a long time ago. Let's see if I can hold it up here for you guys to see. It's called the Shooting Star Pendant, and it's a little wire weaving and a lot of crystal yumminess. So this is a project from the past that I'm bringing back because every once in a while we do a little throwback. So we're doing the Shooting Star or Shoot for the Stars. I think it's called Shoot for the Stars pendant. That's what our project is for this week.
That's so nice.
Yeah. And then let's see. On Fridays, our Feel Good Friday show at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And then, of course, Master Makers on at 4 p.m. on JTV Extra on Friday. For me, it's pretty much just a basic week, just the same old, same song and dance, but new projects.
It's a good same old. I love seeing what you come up with each week. It's always so different.
Yeah, I try to keep things, I try. It's hard to come up with things, and you really challenged me. So our live next Tuesday, I was really in a stump. I was really stumped, but I came up with a project. I'm going to show you a picture of it here in a little bit. So y'all stay tuned because next Tuesday we're doing something fun. I think you'll like what I came up with. It's really pretty. So.
And then so next week we have a joint project. Then I remember you scheduled a day B-Box Bargains. You just scheduled a day this month too, I think.
I think that's at the very end of the month. So you and I, let's see, we were going to do...
We're the next 2 Tuesdays then, and then you want to do B-Box Bargains after that. Okay.
Yep. So our project for next Tuesday is a fun one. And then you and I will be back together the next Tuesday for Sam's Beadbox. So
for May. Yeah. So Sam's Beadbox May,
yeah.
and then Bargain Beadbox the next week. So you got a full calendar this month.
I do. Yeah. And what's crazy is that also that, let's see, the week that you and I do the bead box is Q's birthday week. His mom is coming into town, so his mom will be here. And I am live streaming Master Maker to Bead Fest in Wisconsin. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sarah's frozen, but one moment. Catch up on comments here. Michelle said, "Is there a bad day to buy beads?" There's not. Hello. What are you doing?
I'm streaming Master Maker on that week. Will be streaming to live to Bead Fest in Wisconsin. So like that whole week is going to be really intense for me because I've got family in from out of town. I've got a birthday going on. I've got Bead Box going on with you. And then I'm also making a virtual appearance to Bead Fest in Wisconsin, which is pretty cool. And a little stressful. A little stressed about it, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
like, can folks like how you stream and then folks are gonna be able to like ask questions or like how does?
There will be a live audience at Bead Fest. There will be a live audience, and I will be able to interact with the live audience that's in Wisconsin for Bead Fest. It's going to be interesting. Wow. So, yeah. Wow. So, but cool. I will also be able to interact with everybody normally too. So I'll actually have 3 audiences. I'll have the YouTube crew, the Facebook crew, and then our Wisconsin people at the Bead Fest. So it's going to be a challenge, but I'm excited. Wyatt is the host, so I know I'm in good hands. Wyatt's going to be taking care of everything.
Oh, nice. Oh, so are you doing it in studio then?
I'll be doing it from right here.
Oh, Wyatt will be at Bead Fest.
Oh no, we're frozen again, aren't we? Are we frozen?
No, I can. You're not frozen. Uh-oh. I can hear Sarah. Oh, now she's frozen. That's our warning. Tamara says I need a comment wrangler. That's actually not a bad idea. Hello. So where will Wyatt be?
Wyatt will be at Bead Fest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he'll be with the live audience.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. They had asked me to go, but things just didn't work out, so I wasn't able to be there. But they wanted to be sure that I was still there. Just, I'm just going to be there virtually. But yeah, it'll be fun.
I like that idea. I'm very curious how that goes.
Me too. A little nervous, but yeah. Guess we'll find out.
Well, this has been awesome. We got to do an extra long stream today. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. And Sarah, for that awesome project.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with me, Sam, as always. Thank you for the beautiful beads. Guys, don't forget to check out Sam's sale. Don't miss that amethyst. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, it's so good.
So good.
Also, if you're watching from one of the Sam's pages, make sure you go subscribe to Sarah's channel, do all the things, check out her Etsy shop. She has like dozens of kits available that are just gorgeous. So go do all the things and have a lovely day, everyone.
Yes, love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.